Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Laure Le Poitevin. I'm a physical medicine and rehabilitation specialist in Nantes University Hospital in France. I will introduce to you our work, which aimed to assess midterm efficacy and safety of external sphincterotomy in patients with detrusor sphincter dysynergia. Detrusor sphincter dysynergia, DSD, is observed in 70 to 100% of patients with suprasacral spinal cord injury. If untreated, DSD can lead to severe complications. External sphincterotomy with reflex voiding has generally been considered the alternative option in men who are unable to perform intermittent self-catheterization, either through the native urethra or through a continent cutaneous urinary diversions. Its goals are to provide complete bladder emptying with low pressure reservoir, to protect the upper urinary tract, to improve the quality of life of the patient, and to gain autonomy. The objective of the current study was to assess the midterm efficacy and safety of external sphincterotomy in men with DSD and unable to perform intermittent self-catheterization. We conduct a retrospective monocentric study enrolling all consecutive spinal cord injury male patients who had undergone a first external sphincterotomy between January 2003 and June 2018 with at least 2 years of follow-up. The surgical technique consists of an incision of striated sphincter at 12 o'clock according to the Maeders-Bakers technique. The majority of the patients had preoperative video urodynamic assess bladder neck behavior. Concomitant bladder neck incision was performed only in case of closed bladder neck during the voiding phase. Preoperative clinical data as well as postoperative data at 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, then every 5 years were retrospectively collected. The primary objective was to report the success rate at last follow-up. Success was defined as a maintenance of reflex voiding. And the secondary objectives were to report postoperative complications and reoperations rates, morbidity, as well as urodynamic and functional outcomes. 51 patients were enrolled, including 36 spinal cord patients and 15 multiple sclerosis. The median follow-up was 4.5 years. The median age was 51 years. The median delay between the spinal cord injury and surgery was 9 years. The main preoperative voiding mode was reflex voiding. 15 patients had a preoperative test with a temporary urethral stent because of maximal detrusor pressure, MDP, less than 60 centimeters of water during voiding cystomanometry. A concomitant bladder neck incision was performed in 33 patients. The success rate was 80%, with 41 patients still in reflex voiding at last follow-up. 10 patients had to change their voiding mode with a median delay of 25 months. 3 patients required an outfalling catheter and 7 an ileal conduit. For 5 of them, the failure was secondary to a decrease in detrusor contractility. 39% required a second procedure with a median delay of 35.9 months. The indications for reoperation were an increase of post-void residual or complications such as autonomic dysreflexia or recurrent urinary tract infections. Revisions were performed after video urodynamic assessment and flexible cystoscopy in order to prove bladder outlet obstruction and to identify its anatomical or functional level. The early post-operative complication rate was 35%. After the surgery, we observed a significant decrease in the maximal urethral closure pressure, as well as a significant decrease in the maximal detrusor pressure. No significant difference in maximum detrusor pressures was observed between the two groups. As expected, a significant decrease in post-voiding residual was observed post-operatively with a significant difference between the success and the failure group. Post-operatively, a significant decrease in the number episode of autonomic dysreflexia was observed, with a significant difference between the success and the failure group. Moreover, significant difference in the number of urinary episodes was observed after the surgery. External sphincterotomy allowed to maintain reflex voiding in 80% of our patients. It significantly improves autonomic dysreflexia and upper tract infection, despite a high reoperation rate. A long-term follow-up is mandatory in order not to ignore a recurrence of bladder outlet obstruction or a decrease in detrusor contractility, which may justify a reoperation or an alternative bladder management. Thank you for your attention.